Hello, in this video, I'm going to show you how to construct scatter plot, find correlation coefficient, and then maybe side-by-side bar graph for a given data set. This is chapter 4 of the lecture notes that we did. So here I'm using Excel. So first, enter the data into the list. Here, notice my A column is my explanatory variable, when the B column is interest rate. All right, so first I'm going to highlight the data. Once this data is highlighted, I'm going to select Insert and choose the scatter diagram. So Insert. Note that there are many different graphs that I can make here. So I want a scatter diagram here. So I pick the one right here as chart. So go over here, choose the one you want, right? So this is just the first one, scatter diagram. Okay. Now once you've done that, notice that there's no, this axis is not labeled. I could do the editing to that. I can adding chart element, add or remove, right? So when you highlight, I see that I want the axis title. I want a chart title, data label. Data label, notice I highlighted, can give it each point auto pair. I don't want that. And legend, I don't need a legend for that. We only have one set of data. So, but this is going to be work well if you have like two data set you graph on the same plot. So, but here, basically pick the element that you want. So I want to add the x-axis and y-axis. Now my x-axis here is credit score. So to change the title, I just highlight it, right? Click on it, and I'm going to type, right, credit score. Right. Now the vertical axis, that's a response variable, and I'm going to change it to interest rate. All right, that's it. That's how, and the title here just interest rate. And yep. So I guess you don't have to have both right now. Interest rate. Maybe I change the title to interest rate, credit score with interest rate. Credit score. Maybe a better title. Maybe well, title would be relationship between credit score, relationship between credit score and interest rate. So basically you want to add any, put in the title you want. You can by editing and click on it. All right, so that's how you make a scatter diagram. All right, so this is the one we'll make over here as well. So I'm going to delete that one because I already have one, right? Let's move on how to calculate the correlation coefficient using Excel. So select the formula function, right? The more function, formula more. So you're going to go up here, this formula is right here. Right, let me select it. And then you're going to select correct right here and then go to the right one. Let me do it. So I'm going to select formula. All right, and then I go to more function. So where is it? Right here, more function. And I'm going to go down to statistic. All right. So now here, there's a different function I can choose here, different thing I can do. Notice that there's a like averages you can calculate. But here, one correlation coefficient. So we have correlation. So here, the correlation, notice that. All right, let me enter here. Now, I'm going to put my cursor over here. I want to highlight array 1 is going to be my explanatory variable, right? So I'm gonna cell range. So I'm going to just highlight it. So this is my range, right? And then my range for my y value or my response variable is right here. And I'm going to highlight it. Okay. And then I done that. And notice I already gave me a score, right? So but let's hit OK. And that's how you get the correlation coefficient R here. If you want to see the whole value, you can just highlight it, right? Highlight it, and get there. So that's the R score. Right? That's just we're doing section 4.1. Now in section 4.2, we find equation of the regression equations. So again, I'm using the number of absences versus final grade over here. Again, this is steps. Let's kind of walk over first. So enter the data. Your column 1 is your explanatory variable X, where column B is your response variable Y. So you're going to select data and then go to data analysis, choose regression option, and then follow from there. All right, so let's do it. So I'm going to, data is right here. Let me look for data. And then data analysis, that one. Data is highlighted. Look for data analysis. Let me see. Oh, right here. Data analysis at the end right here. I think my recorded as doesn't show, so click on it. All right. If you cannot find the data analysis here, you can just do a little search or add it in, right? Make sure load it in. Right, data analysis highlighted. So now I select regression. Right, let me see, regression. There's a correlation here. Correlation. Let me choose regression R. Right, regression right here. Right, so regression and hit OK. And then do the same thing. You're going to tell where your input for Y, input for X. Again, Y is a response variable, X is the explanatory variable. So I'm just going to highlight it. I'm going to choose the Y first here. So this is my Y. Okay, highlight it and choose my X. Highlight it. And now here, you can do different thing you could do. So if you want residual, you can highlight it. And you know, confidence interval later you're gonna do it in unit 3. But now I want to have if residual, we kind of talk about it a little bit. You can do a residual plot if you want, right? So just different thing you want, you can click here, right? A few things later we're gonna learn. All right, so hit OK. Right, so now this is the residual plot that we're talking about in class, right? So residual plot, we say if it doesn't follow any particular pattern, not that it doesn't follow here, it jump everywhere here. So meaning that the equation fits well, linear regression is appropriate here. So that's the plot you can get. Right, now notice that the table we just found here, this is the summary table that from the output. Now the multiple R squared, this is the one that we're gonna use for the R squared we talked about in class. So let me see, there's a highlight button. There's a highlight button here. I'm gonna highlight it, right? So that's the value for multiple R squared. And then if I want a regression equation, there's I need the intercept and I need the slope. Right? This is the intercept, and then this is the slope. Right. So if I want to write equation, I could say, hey, we want to put in terms of our application question here, we say number of absences, the final grade. Right. Final grade is equal to the slope, right? The slope, which is right here, negative 2 point. Let me just copy it. Equal to slope. Let me do it here, right? Oh, final. I guess I need to type it in, right? Again, I don't have to keep. Let me just keep for a few digits. Negative 2.827. Right? And then your explanatory variable here is the number of absences. I can number of absences enter here, and then plus your y-intercept. The y-intercept is approximately 88.73. Right? So that's the equation. Again, you can also find a way, you can change the y equal to negative 2.827x plus 88.73. Right? So that's how you do a residual plot and then find a correlation coefficient plus the equation. Right? So now next move on to side-by-side bar graph. So let's go to it. All right. Now notice I already complete some graph here myself already. In 4.4 we asked you can construct conditional distribution given frequency distribution, right? So here I already filled in the table already. So let's say I want to construct a side-by-side bar graph. Let's do one for frequency first. The step for relative frequency is the same, right? So first you're going to enter the table, the table here into the handout, into the here, and then highlight the contingency table, select insert, and then choose the type graph. Right? So let's say I want to do this one. Okay, so this is my, let me highlight it, and then then I get insert. Now there's different type of bar graphs here, and I want to have a side-by-side bar graph. Maybe so I choose this one. And notice that there's one stack on top of the other. There's some side by side. There's a horizontal one. There's a vertical one. So I'm gonna just choose the basic one. Right. Now once you're done, you can do editing to your title. Like add the title, x-axis, y-axis. I want the axis, right? And then like you did before, you can name them, right? So there's a gray by letter gray, and this will be frequency. So you can, by you can just highlight it, change the title. That's it. That's how you do a frequency side-by-side bar graph. Now notice that the blue represents traditional classes, where the orange represent the online classes, where the gray is hybrid class. And you can see for the C column, student has grade for C, has a higher score if you have a hybrid class. Right, you can do the same thing for the conditional distribution, so I'm not gonna go over that here. Right, thank you for watching. I'll see you in class.